Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be hated by literally a third of your college's population? Well, I lived that, and I'm here to tell you exactly everything about it. So let's start at the very beginning. And just to know, I don't want this video to be something that discourages you to apply to Yale or to apply to any other Ivy Leagues or to go to any of these schools, but I just want to be completely real about my experience and the negative side of it, because I feel like that's the best thing to do with you guys, to just put it out there into the internet in case that can give anyone some more information that can help them be prepared. And that's just what I want to do for you guys. I just want to help you, so that's why I'm creating this video. But I do want you to know, like, this is what it's really like. If you don't know, I'm Christian, and I am going to be a sophomore at Yale this next fall. And to give some very brief context as to me being at Yale, I came from Atlanta, I came from a public high school. I didn't know that many people going in. I had the people also from Georgia I knew. I had some friends, but it was still a very new environment for me. So when I first went in, I was just very optimistic, especially about the types of people that would be at Yale. So I went to the admitted students weekend, which is called Bulldog Days. So they host every April, and one of the reasons why I chose Yale over my other main option, which was Princeton, among the other schools I was admitted to, was because of the perception I had that everyone at Yale was just this super kind, super welcoming person. I just remember having many conversations at that admitted students weekend where people were really extroverted, talking to me, and not even just my fellow admitted students, but current students. So I really had that impression. I was really excited to be able to go to the school, and I committed there. So come fall, everything is going good. It's a lot to take in. It's a big adjustment from high school. There's so much going on. So much is changing. However, I think it was pretty good actually at the beginning socially. I was definitely in that mode where I was like, I'm trying to meet as many people as possible. I'm trying to make as many friends as possible. I literally did the crazy thing of adding everyone I followed from my class on my close friends story, because I was like, okay, I want to try to make more friends. I want to try to, because I was putting a lot of pressure on myself, where I was like, oh, this is college. That means I need to meet my best friends for life, so I need to meet as many people, so I have the highest chance of finding those people, So I was doing all of that. It resulted in a lot of very, I would say, superficial friendships and acquaintances at the beginning, and it's something probably everyone has, For me, what that looked like was, you just meet someone, you talk to them on Instagram a couple times, or you meet them in person, see them a couple times, maybe wave hi to them when you pass by. Nothing really more than that. So it was kind of that for me, except come later, it gets a little awkward. So it's with a lot of those people, you stop really talking to them, they stop waving to you. It's just kind of you drift apart, and it was never really that deep in the first place. However, a lot of things changed once I started posting content consistently again, which I actually had done pretty consistently in the summer, but I had decided in, I don't even remember when it was, probably November, December, end of first semester, that I wanted to try posting short form on my main on Instagram, because I was posting on this other account and just nothing was doing well. I had one reel get a lot of views, but nothing was happening, and I was like, wow, I really want to actually make this work. Let me try going on my main. Spoiler alert, it still hasn't worked, but I definitely have grown a little bit. I had a few viral videos, but it was just the start of a whole new era, basically, because I think before people had kind of known me on campus, because one, in the fall my hair was bleach blonde, so that was pretty unique. And then I still posted a bit. I would repost my posts on that other account that I was posting short form on my story, so people still kind of knew me as oh, he posts content. But at this point, it still hadn't become a phenomenon, and I had posted on YouTube. I had my YouTube linked in my bio, so it was out there. But once I started posting on my main, this is when things got crazy, because Okay, so I'm gonna have to start from here to introduce you to a little app called Fizz, which is one of Yale's most used apps, probably the most used. So a lot of universities have these. It's like basically an anonymous message board. Some use different apps, but it's essentially like a subreddit for the university, but it's restricted to that, like the people from the university. So on this app, like people are pretty unfiltered because it's anonymous. Like people feel like there's no consequences, and I never thought too much about it until people started talking about me, and this is why I'm filming on my camera instead of my phone, because I needed to be able to show you the receipts on my phone. I need to scroll all the way back on my photos because it gets crazy, okay? So there was a first post that started this whole chain of events where someone was just talking about like, oh, like basically they were doing a poll about like the different freshman influencers. Honestly, none of these people, including myself, are actually influencers. We don't actually have a big following, which is interesting because there's actually so many sophomores, probably juniors, seniors too, that actually do have big followings at Yale. But essentially, this was still when people were like calling me as like a bleach blonde kid, because in this like poll that I'm gonna show you, I might just put on the screen. I can try to show you like here. Oh shoot, okay. Sorry guys, I'm trying to find the original screenshot and it's like I have to go through all of these. So it was like, which freshman Y influencer will win? And that was the start of everything, right? Because then people started talking about me. It was just pretty chill, nothing crazy, until I don't know, I just saved a few of these posts because the thing is, you think that like if you post something about someone, like they're not gonna see it, but like especially for someone that creates content, like they are really self-aware. And I say this because I used to work for this like UGC content for this AI study app, as I've talked about before, and like anytime someone said anything about them, like they would have clocked that immediately. So I have all of the receipts here basically. So someone had said something along the lines of like, can we target the freshman influencers? Because someone on Fizz, this was during the break, was like, oh, we need a new like public enemy #1 on Fizz that we can like make fun of basically. Which is crazy because, and we're gonna get much more into this throughout the course of the video, but the fact is that I go to a school with a less than 5% acceptance rate, which means for every person chosen, there were at least 19 other people, probably 20 because it is lower than 5%, that were rejected for that person chosen. So it's like, it is such a privilege to be able to attend this institution, because for you to be chosen, that means this many other people were rejected. And basically what I'm getting at is, do you really think all those other people that were rejected are rude? If you take 21 people just randomly, like, are those 21 out of 21 all gonna be rude? Probably not. So it's the fact that like you were chosen to be here and you still are, and we're gonna get more into it. But then someone had replied like, bleach blonde kid, we're coming for you. I don't remember how much traction that got. And then that was kind of the end of the era. Then I continued posting into the semester, and this is when things got a little bit more interesting, because there were some bouts where people started to actually specifically talk about me, not in relation to other people, but specifically me. So this was in early February. Someone had said something like, that bleach hair advice kid is the worst. I'm sorry, I'm sure you're nice, but I can't stand your content. And it's the fact that I'm reading this in retrospect now, and I'm like, this is literally nicer than some of the stuff people are saying about me now. But I remember in a moment, I was like, wait, this is like really backhanded. And someone had responded to this talking about how like, oh, his Instagram is so not aesthetic, it's just a bunch of close-ups of his face, and it's giving conceited. And then, so it's like people were talking about me anonymously. I don't remember how much traction these got. Um, People were just like saying stuff about it and bringing me up randomly like a lot, which I think like what you have to understand, guys, is that the majority of Fizz users are freshmen. Okay, maybe not majority, but it's like the highest grade. So like that's my theory, because a lot of what I was concerned about is like, why are people talking about me who has like 2,000 followers on my Instagram instead of like the multiple influencers at my same school that have like hundreds of thousands of followers that probably post as consistently, if not more than me. And I think it has to do with the fact that I'm a freshman and probably some other, biases maybe. I don't know. But let's go further. So people had just kind of occasionally posted about me. Occasionally someone would say something like, I had made a video about how Ryan Reynolds came to Yale, and then someone was like, sometimes had quoted me, sometimes I forget that I go to Yale, and then Ryan Reynolds comes to speak. Shut the fuck up. Was that what they posted? And it's the way, guys, like, I literally couldn't do anything without someone having something to say about it. And I'm being for real. Like, every time I post, literally now, like, someone always has something to say about it. And it's like not that crazy because it's like, okay, it's an anonymous app. But I think what made me more concerned, which we'll get to, well, let me show you some other posts. And this was like all within a span of like a week. Someone had posted, this was honestly not too bad. They were just saying if I talked about like the Yale hospitality drama, like they'll like have my name out of their mouth. Two posts were basically like that. Someone was like, he gets to my nerves in a way I can't even explain, which like, and it's another person talking about Reynolds. Someone saying that, responding to a post about me being like, his mom and his dad are spreading love in his comments though, it's the only love he can get, which is just like, why would you say that about a person? Like, I would never say that about anyone. Low-key, even someone that is actually a terrible person, that is actually like done bad things to people, like, I don't even think I would say that about them. So it's like, who? And this is what gets me. It's the fact that like, I go to a university where for literally every person chosen, there's 20 other people rejected, and you're telling me like, this one person that was so much better than all these 20 people is still the type of person that thinks it's okay to like talk about other people like this? Like, are we children? Like, is this even like, this is so immature. And we literally go to Yale and you talk about people like this. And this is not saying I need everyone to like me. Everyone is gonna like me. I'm done with that expectation. But like, if people could actually just treat me like a normal person, like they do literally to the other influencers on campus, which still get talked about, but nowhere near to the extent that people have been talking about me. And simultaneously, I want to talk about what's actually going on in the real world and not online at the same time, which is that it is part of a natural trend. People stop talking to you that were very superficial connections, but I feel like I had just noticed like, I even track my followers sometimes just because I'm just curious about it. And so I'll notice when like someone unfollows me, and I'm like, sometimes it'll have been someone I literally had a conversation with that had approached me that was literally like, I've seen your Instagram, like, is that you? Like, hi, I'm like this person. People would talk to me like that, and then literally like you're unfollowing me like later on. I don't know. It's just like kind of interesting. And I think just in general too, I just noticed like, I felt like there were a lot of people like in person that like had like not really been talking to me anymore, had kind of like given me bad energy, So that was kind of the more like physical side of things. And it was honestly getting to a point where like I would be somewhere just walking to class and I would think like, all these people are seeing me, a lot of them probably have seen me, and a lot of them probably don't like me and are thinking that. And it's like crazy. It's honestly so crazy to me. But that brings us to today, which I'm bringing this up because it happened today. This is why I'm recording this video. So I had posted a reaction video to one of my grades, and the reason why I thought this was okay, one, I didn't think it was too deep. Two, so many other influencers I've seen like 3 at Harvard actually post reactions to their grades, and no one gave a fuck. But people actually were supporting them. They're like, yes, like, you're educated, like, you're so smart, etc. Like, when I posted it, guys, people went off on me. Like, literally, and it was literally for one class too. It was not even like everything, and I was saying like, oh, I'm so surprised. I literally thought I wouldn't get an A because like I had gotten caught for ChatGPT once and didn't go to my lectures. And then someone had posted to Fizz, to the Frosh influencer posting their grade reactions, oh my god, I got an A minus or an A. Literally no one asked. And then that had 1.9k upvotes. And then someone had commented in this, he is one of the special few people who can evoke such pure disgust within me. And literally, like, imagine someone saying that about you. And like, you know, if you're one of the people that talk about me like that, like, literally that's what I want to ask. Like, what if someone said something like that about you, that you evoke pure disgust in them? And I honestly really like struggle with this because like that is not like, to say someone disgusts you, like, that is not necessarily something about like this person is so bad. This is like, I see myself as above this person. And I'm not saying it's exactly what you're saying, but it's kind of giving that, you know, like that's the energy I'm getting. Like, to say someone evokes such pure disgust in you. And I just feel like there's this culture of elitism at Yale, and part of me just feels like it is tied to this, that like it's giving elitist. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, maybe I'm not making sense there, but I'll be honest. Someone had said ref day for the 05 Chris defenders. That one had like probably by now almost 1,000 upvotes. Someone had said, can he actually shut the fuck up? Does he actually have no real friends to tell him that his videos are cringe? And then someone had said, just blocked him, don't need that negative and cringe content in my feed. And somebody's haven't gotten many upvotes. But like, okay, it's just the fact that like, one, I feel like my content is so harmless, and this is like yes, it's annoying, yes, I post so often, but you know why I post? It's because it's a big dream of mine to like become a content creator. You know why? Because literally, like, I've been here my entire life. Like, my parents aren't like super notable people. They are smart, they are amazing, but they're not super rich, super wealthy, super high achieving academically. So I want to make a name for myself. I said it, it's true. And this is why I'm posting on social media, among the other fact that I literally just love to create and I enjoy it. And this is why I'm posting so often, because, you know, that's how you grow. You have to post often. There's no other ifs, ands, or buts. You just have to post. And sometimes, you know, I might be posting stuff that's like really simple. I just thought about it and it's just a post, but it's because like I'm not perfect. You know, I would love to post the most high quality, most adding value to the world thing every time, but I'm also a real person and I'm prioritizing like, okay, let me just get something out there in the world so I can make that effort to grow my accounts. And that's why I'm doing it, you know? And it's the fact that like people have such an issue and a bone to pick with that low-key baffles me. So much so that you're not only blocking me and unfollowing me, even though we go to the same school, you are literally telling the world that and talking about it and saying my content is cringe and talking bad about me. I just think it's crazy. And the other thing I wanted to say is like, literally, I feel like I post like pretty harmless stuff, like literally just like day in the life, like vlogging, like random thoughts. And it's just crazy because it's like, why do people have such a bone to pick with us? Literally, I've seen other people at Yale post content that I feel like most people would probably find a lot more cringe, but for some reason they have a bone to pick with me. And honestly, that comment really pissed me off because it was the fact that they said that my content was negative when, okay, I can understand cringe, but negative, literally, what have I done that's negative? And it's also crazy too. Even cringe is a little strong because when I think of cringe content, I'm thinking of that one guy that he'll go up, he'll ask a girl, he'll be like, "What's the cutest thing you've ever seen?" They'll be like, "Oh, a puppy," and he'll literally act like a puppy. Like, I'm not out here doing that. Yet me just posting my daily life is cringe. Like, and there's all these influencers out there that do stuff like that, so they all automatically cringe. Yet they're literally making tons of money off of this and not having to do a 9 to 5 job, which isn't fulfilling to them. Like, I just feel like there's just so much elitism and hate at Yale, and this is the thing that irks me the most because it's like I went in literally thinking everyone was an angel. Maybe not that much, but I was so optimistic, so happy, and to me, it seemed like just like everyone was just like the best person ever. You know, I mean, as I said, you had to be selected out of so many other people to get here, yet people are acting like this behind my back. And it's just honestly really disheartening to me. You know, I just like, free me. I don't know what to say. You know, it's a little tough. I mean, I still post because I still love to do it, and it's something I'm still trying to grow, but this is discouraging, I'm gonna be honest. And it makes me worried about a lot of other aspects of my life. At Yale, I'm like, okay, will I even be able to make me friends? Will I be able to ever get into any romantic relationships if people see me this way? Like, obviously it has big effects. Sorry, my brightness, my lighting is getting so much worse now that the sun is setting. I was trying to use my window, but it's fine. And this isn't to say there's not so many wonderful people at Yale. Like, I have so many great friends. So many people have been supporting me throughout all of this and like assuring me that this is crazy and being on my side. But it's still the fact, and this is what gets me, that was probably the last main point I want to make about this. It's the fact that like a lot of these posts literally have 2,000 upvotes on Fizz, and that is a third of the entire student body of Yale undergrad, which is crazy to me. That is literally so many people. And it's the fact that it's like, I don't even know. Like, guys, how did I even get myself into this situation? I was just trying to post. I just thought it was harmless, but apparently a lot of people took issue to it. And this is not to say I'm gonna stop posting, but yeah, so I think honestly, to wrap this entire discussion up, I just want to talk about what this means for you, assuming you are someone that is considering going to an Ivy League based on the way I titled this video. Yeah, so what I just want to say with this entire story is that, you know, don't expect it to be sunshine and rainbows. Don't expect that people will be nice and kind, because it's not true. And obviously, I'm gonna be honest, like, even with all of this happening, I am really grateful to go here, and I wouldn't want to have gone to another school, but you need to know that this is true and that this is what it's really like. That a lot of people aren't nice. And literally, I was talking to someone who was like, yeah, I have Fizz at my school and people aren't this fucking mean. And I mean, I think it's honestly has to do with a lot of like the power systems in place, a lot of the attitudes that get people into Yale, a lot of the people that are getting in there, because, you know, to be honest, there is a certain level of like people telling me to shut the fuck up because I post too much. Like, in a way it feels like silencing. In a way it feels like telling me like, oh, like, just be like everyone else and just like don't post often and just like be silent, don't speak your mind, like, just, and in a way like that is like really just, I just feel like that's pushing a certain like image, a certain, you know, status quo of just like being silent and like pushing this norm that I feel like that's a very toxic and destructive force, and that exists at Yale. That's my honest message to you. So, you know, more than anything, actually not telling you to like not apply or not go, I just want you to know it and to be prepared if you do come. But yeah, okay, that was a long video. Hopefully you enjoyed, but yeah, that'll be it.
Bye.